Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi ala ni'mat al-Islami wa kafa biha ni'ma. All praise and gratitude be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on His blessing of Islam, which suffices as a blessing. So I'd like to welcome you all on the 22nd para. We've done half of that. Inshallah, we'll complete that today. And we were at Surah Saba. We had done up to ayat number 30 of Surah Saba. Saba obviously is a Makkan surah, and it's all about faith building. And we also saw the story of Saba, who was the queen of Yemen, and she's mentioned over here. She lived around 1000 BC in Yemen, with the capital of Marib. So let's look at the first ayah of this evening, which is ayat number 31 of Surah Saba. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال الذين كفروا لن نؤمن بهذا القرآن ولا بالذي بين يديه ولو ترى إذ الظالمون موقوفون عند ربهم يرجع بعضهم إلى بعض القول يقول الذين استضعفوا للذين استكبروا لولا أنتم لكنا مؤمنين. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. And those who disbelieve say, we will never believe in this Quran, nor in that which was sent before it. But if only you could see when the wrongdoers will be made to stand before their Rabb, repulsing words of blame to each other, those who were held as weak will say to the overbearing, had you not been there, we would have been believers. So you can see today, while we are still living in this world, for people, it's very easy for them to deny. But on this day, when they will be standing in front of their Rabb, all these deniers, what they will be doing is that they will be blaming each other. Now, who are these proud and arrogant and people of istikbar and takabbur, the arrogant people being mentioned over here? Quite honestly, this is not our definition of pride. People who are mentioned or who are referred over here as proud and arrogant are those people which is, according to the Quranic definition, who are proud in their obedience of Allah. So their entire pride and entire arrogance is only with Allah, knowingly disobedient to Him, knowingly denying Him, knowingly flouting His commandments. Now sometimes for us pride is something different, but pride is not really evident by our drawing room manners and our etiquettes. People may be very kind, people may be very gentle, and they may be also involved in lots of humanitarian causes, and all those are good causes, no doubt about that. But the entire takabbur is with Allah. Entire takabbur, not being obedient to Him and denying Him, that is the takabbur. And this is the greatest of all the takabbur, not accepting Allah as a master and as a creator. Those who were overbearing will say to those who were deemed weak, did we stop you from guidance after it had come to you? Rather, yourself were guilty. And those who were deemed weak will say to those overbearing, but it was your intriguing day and night when you were directing us to disbelieve in Allah and to set up rivals to Him. And all of them will conceal regret when they will see the punishment, and we will place shackles around the necks of those who disbelieved, and they will not be recompensed except for what they used to do. Now, if someone by deception or by temptation or by any other method puts people onto the wrong path, well, these people will still be punished. And the reason for this is that people have been given the ability to think. Allah has given us the mind, the eyes, the ears to hear and see and to analyze what is right and what is wrong. People use all these akal, and we use this akal. People use all the akal for worldly matter. How much research we do before we even do the simplest investment? When we buy a house, when we buy stocks, when we buy milk, when we buy bread, we use our mind. We look at things and we are careful in what we are doing in investment. Well, we need to be equally careful, and we need to use our mind for matters of this deen also. We did not send any warner to any township, but those who lived a luxurious life in it said, we rejected what you have been sent with. Now this is being addressed to those people who are living in abundance, people who are blessed, people who have plentiful. Now this also sometimes makes people arrogant. The style of the rich and the powerful and the successful people. The more Allah gives, the more such people become disobedient and arrogant. That's what richness, and that's what does to them. It gives them pride. And when we look at the mushriks of Makkah, they would openly announce that if Allah was unhappy with them, He should not send so many blessings to them. Because this, their concept of getting all these blessings was that it must be because Allah is happy with us. Now this is the kind of misconception that is being removed in these ayahs. And they said, we are superior in riches and children, and we are not going to be punished. Say, in fact, my Rabb extends provision to whom He wills and restricts, but most of people do not know. These ni'mats, while Allah is giving, this is not a criteria of Allah's pleasure or Allah's displeasure. Allah tries people by giving them, and sometimes He tries people by taking away from them. Your riches or your children are not things that bring you near us in ranks, except one who believes and acts righteously. Therefore such people will have double reward for what they did, and they will be at peace in the upper chambers. Now if mal and if aulad and if children are with guidance, then they are really a sadaqah jariyah. There's no doubt about that. They are source of great reward. But if someone has wealth but no guidance, or children who do not, who have not been brought up as righteous children, then this is a great calamity. Even if the fact is that they are from a worldly point of view very rich, if they have no guidance, nor do they have righteous children, this is something really a great tragedy, because it can become a source of great azab and great difficulty for them. However, having said that, we also need to keep in mind that we cannot afford to put our hopes on our children, that their deeds will redeem us in the hereafter. What is most vital is that we do enough that at least we qualify for Jannah. And then if we have righteous children, well, that's the cherry on the cake, as they say. It will help in elevating our position in paradise. But the first and foremost thing is we must qualify for paradise, and that is only with our own deeds. As for those who strive against our signs, trying to frustrate, they shall be brought to the punishment. So denial of these revelations of Allah, these ayahs of Allah, denial can be in many ways. The most obvious is to say, well, I don't believe in this, the Quran, I don't believe in these revelations. Then there are many subtle ways of denying also, like knowing that this is a revelation of Quran but not obeying it, like considering Quran to be a tale of ancient, not applicable on modern enlightened people, being skeptical or making a mockery out of Quran or the injunctions of this deen. These are all different ways in which people can deny the revelations of Allah. Say, surely my Rabb extends provision for whomsoever He wills of His servant, and restricts it for whom He wills, and whatever things you spend, He replaces it, and He is the best of the sustainers. Now, Quran is really addressing this fear that is there in many people, especially the wealthy one, that if they spend what Allah has given them in Allah's way, then their wealth will reduce, it will finish. This is a human tragedy. This is a human tendency, not a tragedy, really a tendency, that what has been given to us, we assume that we are the master of that. We think we have become the owner. And this is not just in adults, but even in children. You see, if you give them a toy or you give them 100 rupees and you ask them to return back, they will not return it back. And that's what goes in when they become adult also. So we need to guard against such behavior. The ability to give happily will only come if we are certain that Allah is our Rabb. He is the one who has actually given whatever we have to us, and as a result, if we have to spend in His way, this should be done in a happy manner. Now, this spending in the way of Allah and in the name of Allah, they are two separate situations. In spending in the name of Allah and spending in the way of Allah, they are two different things. Allah's promise is that He will replace it. As you can see in this ayat, when we spend in Allah's way, Allah will replace it. So when we spend in Allah's way, what is spending in Allah's way? Well, that's any fi sabilillah, as they say, making a masjid, teaching people, doing any philanthropist work where we give our wealth. And the name of Allah, and in the name of Allah, this really encompasses everything that we spend. Now, spending time to earn halal livelihood, that's also in the name of Allah. Fulfilling needs of our family, that's also in the name of Allah. Doing, whatever responsibilities Allah has put on to us, and we actually spend for that, that is in the name of Allah. So here also one has to make this intention. I think this is something that must be in our mind all the time, that I am earning because Allah commanded me to earn halal. I am spending on my family because Allah commanded me to spend on my family from that halal. Now if one is doing this for Allah, obviously man will only look for lawful means. He will not resort to methods which Allah has prohibited. And on that day, when he will gather all of them together, then he will say to the angels, is it you that these people used to worship? Now those who do not spend time, those who do not spend effort, those who do not spend money and their wealth in Allah's way, what kind of a contingency plan do they have, or what do they think that what is going to really save them? Well, some of them have this false belief that angels will come for their intercession, and this was a common belief in Makkah, and this hope of dependency on someone or something that's going to save people, that's being negated over here. So the angels, now talking about the angels in the next ayat, they will say, glory be to you, you are our guardian, not these. Rather they used to worship the jinns, and most of these people, most of these believed in them. So angels will say, no, these people were actually worshippers of jinn. People have this false belief that jinn have power to resolve issues for them, do things for them, and that's a false belief. Jinns do not have that power to accomplish anything for us except what Allah wills. So you have no power today to benefit or harm one another, and we will say to the wrongdoers, taste the punishment of fire that you used to deny. So for you, Allah is telling them, for these people, for the wrongdoers, that for your denial, you have denied when you were alive, and now you are actually in front of the fire. You were denying it while you were living, but now this fire is there in front of you. And this is rather a painful way to achieve firm belief. Today we have faith, and today we can build our faith. And we can build our faith in a painless manner by acquiring knowledge, by being more righteous, by spending in Allah's way. The faith can build. But if this yaqeen is not there, then on the day of judgment it's going to come. This yaqeen is definitely going to come, but it's going to come in a painful way. When our evident verse is recited to them, they say, he is nothing but a man who wishes to divert you from what your fathers used to worship. And they say, this is nothing but a forged lie. And the disbelievers say about the truth when it came to them, this is nothing but explicit magic. Now you can see that in this ayah there are two accusations about the message and the messenger. The first appealing to the common man, and this appeal is saying this man is denying the way of your forefathers. People are very sensitive about their forefathers, about their family. So what these people are telling them is that this man, which is referring to the messenger, that he is saying your forefathers were wrong, almost like trying to incite them against him. Now the second way in which they are doing this is that those people who are coming from outside, those who are new to Islam, those who are new coming into Makkah, they are warning them that don't listen to this man who calls himself a prophet. Don't listen to him, because he's going to cast some spell onto you. He's going to put some magic on you, and through this magic he's going to break families down, he's going to break the peace, and the harmony will be lost. We did not give them any book that they might study, nor did we send to them any warner before you. So what is important to understand, that the words of the forefathers will be right, and there's no problem following our forefathers, provided that they are also following guidance, provided they are also followers of a book, provided that they are also follower of the Prophet. But if for the last 2,500 years no messenger, no book, no prophet came to the Arabs, how can their forefathers be the followers of the message or be guided? And that's what is being highlighted over here. Therefore the advice is that people should leave the way of their ancestors and follow the way of the Prophet and the guidance of the book. And those before them had rejected, while these have not reached even 1/10 of what we had given to those before them, yet they rejected my messengers. Then how was my punishment? Now, Quran says over here that these people have not been even given 1/10 of what had been given to the earlier qawms and earlier generations, like the Ad and the Samud. And Ad and Samud were not forgiven when they transgressed; they were punished. They were 10 times bigger and more powerful and richer. So why would Allah have a different rule for the kuffar of Makkah? Say, I exhort you for one thing only, that you stand up for Allah in pairs and in singles. Then you reflect, your companion is not possessed. He is none but a warner to you before a severe punishment. So when our Prophet ﷺ would advise people, these people would say that this man has had a fixation on azab. All he talks about is punishment. He sees nothing but azab. So it is being said over here, be honest with your own self. Don't be influenced by the other. Go into a solitude. Start to think, contemplate. Put aside all this diplomacy. Be truthful to your own self. Can Muhammad be a madman? Can he be a madman? Can a madman have such akhlaq, such kirdar, such mannerism, speak with such honesty? I think even today when you talk to people, sometimes people say, oh, I'm so confused. Well, if you are confused, then go turn your TV off, go off from that YouTube and your mobile, and think about the purpose. Where did you come from? Where are you going? You know, one of the questions that Quran asks people is, فَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ? Where are you going? Think about Quran. Is there anything wrong with this message? Be truthful. Be truthful to your own self, and you will really get the right answer. Say, if I had ever claimed any reward from you, then it is only for yourselves. My reward is only with Allah, and He is witness over everything. I need, what Prophet is telling them is, and this is what everyone who is teaching this book should tell people, I need nothing from you, neither your wealth, nor fame, nor position, nor authority, nor even a word of praise and thanks. I am only doing it for the sake of Allah. Say, my Rabb casts the truth. He is the best knower of the unseen. Say, the truth has come, and falsehood neither creates anything new nor restores anything. Now, honestly, truth cannot vanish, and that's the reason why Islam has survived in the last 1442 years. Because it is truth, it cannot vanish, like light. Darkness has no reality. Darkness is only the absence of light. Darkness cannot hide even the faintest of the light. The amount of effort and resources that people have spent to spread falsehood, but it doesn't last. It's there for some time, and it seems like it's really growing, and then it just goes away. And this is a great consolation. This is a great consolation that no matter which forces are against Islam, no matter which forces are against truth, truth will always prevail. Islam will be the dominant religion in this world, no matter what people do, no matter what effort they put against it. Say, if I go astray, I shall go astray only to my own detriment. And if I follow the right path, it is because of what my Lord reveals to me. Surely He is hearing near. So if the one who is passing or who is really spreading the message is in error, the listeners, obviously they will not be questioned about it if the messenger who is giving a wrong message. And if he is on guidance, then the credit is to the wahi. The credit is to the guidance. And guidance is really not possible without Quran. Many times people question, oh, so many people are teaching Quran. Who is right? Whom should I listen? Well, listen to all or listen to none, or read yourself. First, see the source of reference of people. Are they referring to the Quran and Hadith? These are the two things that are most important, Quran and Hadith. And as long as they are doing it, it's fine. If not, then that could be a problem, and that would really mislead people. And next, obviously, the most important thing is intention, that we must have the right intention, that we are seeking guidance from this book. And if you could only see, when they will be terrified, then there will be no escape, and they will be seized from a place near at hand. And they will say, we believe in Him, and how can they grasp it from the place far off, while they had rejected it before and used to make conjectures from a remote place, and a barrier will be placed between them and that which they desire, as it will be done with people of their kind who were before. And and they have been in a hopeless doubt. Now, this is the last ayah of Surah Saba. So when azab will come onto people, this azab will become a barrier for them, in between them, and whatever their heartfelt desires are. What our heartfelt desires will be on that day? What would be our heartfelt desire? Well, our heartfelt desire will be, obviously, the first thing is forgiveness, is najat, is izzat, is jannat. I mean, these are the heartfelt desires that anyone would be having on the day of judgment. And those of the past nations were also, who were also in shak and doubt about it, and they did not have yaqeen at that time, and as a result, they didn't start doing amal. Now, with this, we end Surah Saba, and we're going to begin with Surah Fatir. It's a relatively short surah, 45 ayahs, short for 45 ayahs. This is also a Makkan surah. It's all about faith building. Fatir literally it means the one who creates. There's another name for this surah also. It's Malaika, but it's commonly known as Surah Fatir. So, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Alhamdulillahi, Fatiris Samawati wal Ardi, Ja'ilil Malaikati Rusulan, Uli Ajnihatim Masna wa Thulatha wa Ruba, Yazidu fil Khalqi ma Yasha, Inna Allah ala kulli shayin qadir. All praise belongs to Allah, the originator of heavens and earth, who appoints the angels as messengers with wings, twos, threes, and fours. He adds to the creation what He wills. Indeed, Allah has power over everything. So the word that's being used over here, that Allah has created, send the angels who are Rasul, Jail al-Malaikati Rusulan, that this Rasul is literally means a messenger, and messengers can come from humans and also from angels. Because messengers really describe a function, but a Nabi, a prophet, is only from a human being. Prophets are only from human beings. Now, who are the angels? Well, angels are like the civil service of Allah. They do what they are being told to do. What Allah commands, they actually fulfill those commandments. They do not have any independent authority or the will of their own. Now, like human beings, we have hands, and it is through these hands that we accomplish things. Angels have wings, and different angels have been assigned different roles. Like Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, he has been assigned the role to bring wahi. Mikael alayhi salam, he's been assigned the role to bring rain. Israel alayhi salam has been assigned the role to take our souls. Israfil has been assigned the role of sounding the trumpet. So Allah selects, among His angels, He selects these angels for accomplishing different tasks. Whatever blessings Allah opens for people, there is none to hold it back, and whatever He holds back, there is none to release it thereafter. He is the mighty, the wise. O mankind, remember Allah's blessing upon you. Is there any creator other than Allah who gives you provision from the sky and the earth? There is no God but He. So to where are you being turned? People think. People, instead of asking angels, instead of asking human beings like us, or jinns, or deities made from stone, while they should actually be presenting all their needs, all their hajats in front of Allah. And this is what Quran is reminding, that Allah is the creator. He is the one who is sending provisions from the sky. There is none other than Him who can give you these provisions. So where are you being turned? If they reject you, many messengers have been rejected before you. It is to Allah that all matters are brought back. So addressed to our Prophet ﷺ, doesn't matter if these people do not believe. The same was the attitude of nations who were destroyed before. Allah will accordingly judge on the day of judgment. Ya ayyuhan nasu inna wa'dallahi haqqun fala taghurrannakumul hayatud dunya wala yaghurrannakum billahil gharur. O mankind, Allah's promise is definitely true. What a beautiful ayat. O mankind, Allah's promise is definitely true. Therefore, the worldly life must not deceive you, nor let the arch deceiver deceive you about Allah. This ayat gets repeated in Quran a couple of times. What it is telling us is Allah's firm promise. What are Allah's firm promise? Think about Allah's promise. Allah has promised that after death there will be a resurrection. We will rise again. Allah has also promised that there will be hisab, that there will be accountability. Allah has promised that good deeds will be rewarded, and Allah has also promised that punishment will be there for the evil deeds. Now often, and this is a human tendency, often we forget that Allah has also promised hell. Like Allah has promised paradise, He has also promised hell. We only remember the promise of paradise and the promise of forgiveness. Now, this ayat also talks about the delusion of this worldly life. And in that, it is this life, obviously when we live in this world, such a fascinating place, such an absorbing place, that one forgets that one has to leave it. Life of this world dazzles people. A new day, a new goal, new challenge, and there we are, every day we are going after one challenge after another. And we keep taking these challenges one after the another, despite belief in the hereafter, and we have really very little time, no time to work for for earning for the hereafter. Because the world engrosses us and it literally consumes us. So Allah gives a very strong warning over here. Don't be deluded by this worldly life. This is a mirage. This is an illusion. The bubble will burst any moment. Every day, we go attend funerals of people. We know for them the Qiyamah has taken place. How fickle and how fleeting this life is. We all know that. But we think for us, well, it's still a long way to go. We don't really know when our bubble will burst. So the worst delusion is knowing that this is a delusion and yet being deceived by it. And shaitan is the greatest deluder, and that's what Quran is reminding, that the greatest deluder, and he understands our psychology and he gives us individual attention. They say the shaitan of a Maulvi is a Maulvi, the shaitan of an intellectual is an intellectual, and I think that's what we really need to be careful about. For those who are in state of ibadat, shaitan will come to them and actually indulge them in bidat. He's just a spoiler. He wants to spoil our hereafter. Surely shaitan is your worst enemy, so take him as an enemy. He only invites his group so that they become inmates of the blazing fire. Those who disbelieve shall have a severe punishment, and those who believe and do righteous deeds will have forgiveness and a great reward. Then can the one whom evil deeds seem fair, so that he deems it really good, the fact therefore is that Allah lets go astray whomsoever He wills and leads to the right path whomsoever He wills. So let not your soul collapse in grief for them. Surely Allah knows well what they are doing. So referring to these people, referring to people who think that the evil deeds that they are doing, they are acts of righteousness. What a dangerous condition to be in, that people are committing evil and they think this is a righteous deed. Because till the time man considers a sin, there is a chance that he may correct himself. But if after sinning there is neither regret nor remorse, on the other hand, people begin to feel happy and proud after sinning, then the hope of guidance finishes. Then there is no hope such people will be guided. So if people do not think that this sin is really a sin, but it's an act of righteousness, they have no chance of coming out of that, going off that path. Now Allah's law is that He has clearly defined goodness and evil, and it is through His book and through His messengers, and that the choice that has now been given to people to choose. The book tells us what is right and what is wrong. The messengers tell us what is right and what is wrong. Now the choice is given to people to choose whatever they want to choose. Allah is the one who send the winds, then they raise up the clouds, then we drive them to a dead land and revive the land through them after its death. In a similar way shall be in resurrection. So today we see that, and I think after a long summer, when you look at the land, it's dry, it's barren, you don't really think there's any life of it, and the soil looks dead. Then Allah sends the clouds, and on this dead land, and then comes the rain, and the rain has such life-giving property that life begins to thrive immediately. Now Wahi, the ayahs of Quran, the revelations of Quran, Wahi is also like a rain because it comes from the heavens, and this also brings life in the dead hearts. So if Wahi gets absorbed, It is going to liven up our soul, it's going to liven up the dead soul of people, and it will be brought back to life. Whoever desires honor, then all honor belongs to Allah. Towards Him ascends the pure word, and the righteous deeds uplift it. As for those who plot evil deeds, for them there is severe punishment, and their plot itself will perish. Now, izzat, honor, is a kind of a desire that's in every people. There is an inherent need of izzat and respect that's there inside us, even in children. They want to be respected, they want people to do their izzat. Here reference is to the external izzat, which is only from Allah. So anyone who wants izzat, anyone who wants honor in the hereafter, he needs to attach himself or herself with Allah. And this can only come through obedience and submission. To get izzat in the eyes of Allah is only through iman and only through amle saleh, through the righteous deeds. Allah has created you from dust, then from a drop of semen, then He made you couples. No female bears or gives birth but with His knowledge, and no aged person is made to advance in age, nor is a part curtailed from his age, but all this is in a book. Surely all this is easy for Allah. Now, what is being mentioned over here, what it means is that all females, Allah has knowledge, not just about human, but every female from all the creation. Allah knows the time of birth, Allah knows the age of the one born, Allah knows how long he or she will live. These are all part of knowledge of Allah. People say, well, now the lifespan has increased due to medicine. On olden time, people would die, the average age would be 50 to 60 years. Today, it's gone up to 80 years. Today, due to advancement of science and healthcare, the span of life has increased. That's fine. That's completely acceptable. But the credit is to Allah, because Allah has put the properties and qualities in medicine that can actually provide cure to the disease. It's not human being. We have just discovered them, and that's what we need to keep in mind. And two seas are not alike. This one is sweet, quenches thirst, pleasant to drink, and that one is salty and bitter. Yet from each you eat fresh meat and derive ornaments that you wear, and you see ships cleaving through it, so that you may seek from His bounties, and that you may be grateful. So whatever Allah has created, there is a benefit in it. It can be sweet. There is benefit in sweetness. There is also a benefit from bitterness. Even in life, as we go through, we have our sweet moments and sweet phases and bitter phases. And likewise, it is the one who takes benefit from both these states. In either state, there is khair in it. In any state of life, life should not really come to a standstill. These are all ni'mats of Allah everywhere in the saltish water, and ni'mats of Allah are also there in the sweet lakes. He makes the night enter into the day and makes the day enter into the night, and He subjugated the sun and the moon. Each one of them is running towards an appointed time. That is Allah your Rabb. To Him belongs the kingdom, and those whom you invoke besides Him do not even own even the skin of a date stone. So the power and the might and the creativity of Allah being described in this ayat. If you call them, they do not hear your call, and even if they were to hear, they would not respond to you. And on the day of resurrection, they will deny your association, and none can inform you like Him who is aware. So shirk that's being referred over here is what we call shirk fi dua, to call anyone besides Allah for our needs. So the first reference is to the inert gods, the lifeless gods made from stone and wood. They cannot hear. Others who are invoked like the angels and the jinns, they can hear, but they have no authority to accomplish anything. And then it is the wali and the pious people who on the day of judgment will deny that they ever preached to invoke them or to supplicate to them. O people, you are the one who need Allah, and Allah is free of all needs and ever praised. If He so wills, He can do away with you and bring a new creation. For Allah, that is not something difficult. No bearer will bear the burden of any person. If one weighed down by his burden shall cry out to the other to bear his load, none will carry even a part of it, even though he may be a near relative. You can warn only those who fear their Rabb while he is unseen and establish salah. Whoever gets purified for his own benefit, and to Allah is the final return. Quran says this is on you. It's all for your benefit. On the day of judgment, none will be able to provide any benefit to the other. A father will not part away even with the single neki for his own son, nor will we agree to take a single sin from his children. Therefore, for the love of people, one should not destroy his hereafter. It doesn't really make any sense. The blind and the sighted are not equal. The blind finds his way by guessing. If someone misguides him, he accepts the misguidance. The same is the position of kufr. Remains misguided, while those with faith in their heart and their hearts are lit up with iman clearly know their path and they cannot be deceived. They are well aware and conscious of their deeds and attentive to the hereafter. Nor are darknesses and light. Their Quran says these are also not equal. So ilm is light, ignorance is darkness. Given a choice, no one wants to be in a state of darkness. Fitrat of man is that he wants to come out of darkness. And as you can see from this ayah, light is singular, it's one light, nur, where darkness is used as a plural because there are infinite shades of darknesses. It really depends on how further away a person is from light, and in terms of guidance, how far away are we from Allah. Nor the shade and the heat, which means the shade and the heat are also not the same. The shade of paradise and the scorching heat of hell, certainly they are not alike. Neither are the living and the dead alike. Allah makes to hear whomsoever He wills, and you cannot make to hear those who are in the graves. So Iman is life, Kufr is death. Kufr is rejection of life. You are but a warner, consolation to our Prophet ﷺ and to everyone. You can guide those who are alive, and as for those whose souls have died, you cannot make them hear. Surely we have sent you with truth as a bearer of good news and as a warner, and there was no community without a warner having passed through them. If they reject you, those before them also rejected. Their messengers came to them with clear proof and with scripture and with the illuminating book. Then I seized those who disbelieved. So how was my punishment? Did you not see that Allah sends down water from the sky? Then we brought forth with it fruits having different colors. And among the mountain there are tracks, white and red and of different color and intense black, pointing to the amazing diversity and forms and colors and tastes and fruits of different tastes and colors and shapes. What a delight they are. And from the vegetable to the flowers, the extraordinary variety of animal, the extraordinary variety of insects, no two are alike. If you look at zebras they look so similar, but no two zebra are alike. Even the strips that they have, you can recognize one from the other. And among human and beasts and cattle there are those having different colors and likewise. Now the part of this ayat is so beautiful. Innama yakhsha Allaha min ibadihi ulama. Only those of His servant fear Allah who are knowledgeable. So it's only the knowledgeable people who can actually really develop the true fear of Allah. Surely Allah is mighty, forgiving. Surely those who recite Allah's book and establish salah and have spent secretly and openly from what we have provided to them, they hope for a trade that will never be destroyed. So one who fears Allah cannot be indifferent to the Quran, because it is through the Quran we learn what Allah likes and what Allah dislikes. The best investment is our investment with Allah. No question that there will be there is a chance of any loss in it. So we must spend in Allah's way. And when I say we must spend, it's not just money, it's not just wealth. It is time, it is money, it's whatever Allah has given, part of it we must spend in Allah's way. so that He pays them their reward in full and gives them more out of His grace. Surely He is the most forgiving, very appreciative. And that which we reveal to you of the book is the truth, confirming what was before it. Surely Allah, in respect of His slaves, is all aware, all seeing. So Quran has verified, Quran has verified the Torah and the Injil. This book is, which is Quran, is the truth. It is the haqq. Decisions on the Day of Judgment will be based on this book. And this is our heritage. And that's the reason why we need to really understand this book. Because if we don't understand the Quran, we've really not understood our heritage. Not only just understand, but pass it on to others. Then we conveyed the book as heritage to those of our servants whom we chose. Now some of them are those who wrong their own selves, and some of them are mediocres, and some of them are those who outpace in righteous deeds with Allah's permission, and that is a huge favor. So we are among this, right? Allah has conveyed His book. This is our heritage to us. Some of us, we are wronging our own self. We do things which are not right. And some of us are mediocre. I mean, hopefully we are in that mediocre or maybe above that category. And some of them are those who outpace in righteous deeds. And we all wish and we all strive for this, that we outpace each other in righteous deeds with Allah's permission. And this is a great favor. This is a huge favor of Allah. Gardens of eternity they enter, and they will be ornamented with bracelets of gold and with pearl, and their dresses therein will be silk. And they will say, all praise be to Allah who has removed all the sorrow from us. Surely our Rabb is most forgiving, very appreciative, who out of His grace has made us settle at a home of eternal living where no toils affect us, nor does weariness touch us. No tiredness, no boredom, no fikr, only peace and tranquility. As for those who disbelieve, for them shall be fire of hell. No verdict will be made for them so that they will die, nor will its torment be lightened for them. It is in this way that we punished every disbeliever. And they will be screaming, our Rabb, take us out, and we will act righteously, different from what we used to do. Did we not give you long life in which lessons could have been learned by the one who wished to take lesson? The warner had come to you. So have a taste because of the wrongdoers, because the wrongdoers will have no helper. Surely Allah is the knower of the unseen in the heavens and the earth. Indeed, He fully knows what lies in the hearts. He is the one who has made you successor on the earth. So whoever disbelieves, his disbelief goes against himself. Their rejection adds nothing to the disbelievers but anger from their Rabb. And their rejection adds nothing to the disbeliever but loss. So this is their funeral. If people disbelieve, that's only against them. That's their own funeral. Say, have you considered these partners of yours whom you call upon Allah? Show me what part of earth they have created, or do they have any share in the heaven, or have we given them a book so that they are upon a clear proof from it? No, but the wrongdoers promise one another nothing but deception. Undoubtedly, Allah upholds the heavens and the earth from leaving their existing state. And if they were to leave, there is none who can hold them back except Him. Surely He is forbearing, most forgiving. So disobedient, if the disobedience of people is such that today that it is enough to shake the heavens and the earth, seeing so much shirk, so much injustice, so much disobedience of Allah. But Allah is patient. He's not making the sky to fall down on them, giving opportunity for people to mend and ask forgiveness. They had sworn by Allah with forceful oath that if a warner would come to them, they would be better guided than any other community. But when a warner came to them, it added nothing to them but aversion. Because of their showing arrogance in the land and plotting of evil, and the evil plot engulfs none but its own people. So what end are they waiting except the end which overtook the previous people? So you will never find in Allah's practice any change, and you will never find in Allah's practice any diversion. So the reason for rejecting the messenger was their pride, their conceit, and that's pride and conceit made them become the enemies of the messenger. And what was the end result? well, they face the eternal destruction. Did they not travel in the land and see how was the end of those before them? They were stronger than these in power. Allah is not such that something in the heavens or in the earth can frustrate him. Surely he is all-knowing, all-powerful. So the last ayat of Surah Fatir, if Allah were to take mankind to task for what they had earned, he would not have left a living creature on its back. But he delays them up to an appointed time. So when their time will come, then surely Allah is observant of all his slaves. So Allah has given us a chance. Really, we have been given a chance as long as we are alive. Allah has given this chance. If Allah were to punish people immediately, then no sinner would have lived on the face of this earth. Now we have a few minutes, so we will start Surah Yasin and do a few ayahs up to ayat number 21 of Surah Yasin. Now Surah Yasin is also a Makkan surah, and our Prophet ﷺ said that Yasin is the heart of Quran. So such a beautiful surah. So it begins, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Yasin. So huruf muqatta'at being used over here. Like I said, we don't know the meanings of this. There are 14 alphabets, 26 surahs in which huruf which begin with surah muqatta'at, and Yasin happens to be one of them. Wal Quranil Hakim, by the Quran that is full of wisdom. Now this word wow that is used over here, this is what is called wow-e-qasmiya. It is a qasam, it's an oath. So why take an oath? Why would Allah take an oath with Quran? Wal Quranil Hakim, by the Quran that is full of wisdom. Why is Allah taking an oath by the Quran? You know, when man takes oath, there is a kind of a feeling of azmat, something very momentous, something very eminent. So often people swear by Allah, people swear by the Constitution, people sometimes swear by the Quran. When Allah takes an oath, here Allah is taking an oath. Allah is saying by the Quran that's full of wisdom. When Allah takes oath, then Allah is the most azim, the highest. And hence it is like presenting something as a witness. Allah is presenting Quran as a witness. So here Quran is presented as a witness, and a witness to what? What is Quran being presented as a witness? And that is the next ayat. Innaka laminal mursaleen. You are truly one of the messengers of Allah. That's a promise on the straight path. So the Risala, the office of prophethood, the greatest witness of this is this Quran. The words are miraculous, the teaching are miraculous, and the guidance of this book, that is miraculous. A revelation from the Almighty, the very merciful, so that you may warn a people whose fathers were not warned, and hence they were unaware, referring to the Arabs to whom no earlier messenger or earlier book had been sent. The word has indeed come true, but about most of them, so they will not believe. Surely we have placed iron collars on their necks, so they are reaching up to their chins, and their heads are forced to remain upward. Now the attitude of the misguided people being stated over here, that they think that they are elevated people, they are, as we call stiff-necked people, are proud and haughty, and the reason why they are not bowing down is because in their necks are yokes which prevent them from bowing down. And we have placed a barrier in front of them and a barrier behind them, and then we have covered them over so that they do not see. So the wall in front prevents them from seeing the anjam, what is the future of their deeds that they are doing in this world. Behind them is also a wall so that they do not take a lesson from the history of the past. It is all equal for them whether you warn them or you do not warn them, they will not believe. Can you warn? You can warn only the one who follows the advice and fears the Rahman unseen. So give him the good news of forgiveness and a noble reward. To benefit from the Quran, one has to have that inner desire to do good and to stay away from sin. Guidance will not be and cannot be imposed externally. Surely we will give life to the dead, and we are recording whatever they send before them and whatever effects they leave behind. Everything is fully computed by us in a manifest book of record. Cite to them the example of the people of the town when the messenger came to it. When we sent to them two and they rejected both of them, so we strengthened them with the third. So they said, we are messengers to you. They said, you are only humans like us, and the Rahman has not sent down anything. You only lie. People have this problem, and historically they've had this problem, unable to relate the human element of prophethood, because they see the prophets as people themselves, and using this as a reason, they always reject the messengers and the prophets. Obedience of another human being who is deemed inferior in their eyes to themselves becomes an impediment for their guidance. They said, our Rabb knows that we are most surely messengers. So the messengers are saying, look, we don't need your confirmation. We don't need your approval. Our Rabb knows that we are surely the messengers. Our obligation is no more than to convey the message clearly. They said, we take you as a bad omen for us. If you do not desist, we will certainly stone you, and you will be afflicted by a painful punishment from us. So sometimes in order to wake people up, Allah would send down these small punishments. These punishments would descend on them, but people, instead of looking inside what they were doing wrong, they blamed their prophets and the messengers. They said, your bad omen is with yourselves. It is because you are reminded, rather you are a people who cross all limits. Then there came a man rushing from the furthest part of the city. He said, O my people, follow the messengers. And we do the last ayat of this evening, ittabi'u man la yas'alukum ajran wa hum muhtadun, and follow him who does not ask any reward from you and who is on the right path. This is repeated in Quran. Every messenger comes and says, this man also says, follow him who does not ask you any reward or does not ask any reward from you and who is on the right path. Two qualities of sincere people. They expect no reward from others. They take no reward for actually preaching and teaching this message, and they themselves are rightly guided. So barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Quranil Azim wa nafana wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikril hakim.